Hey, this is Leon Poe, man. You listening to Causeway Street Podcast.
What's up, y'all? This is Kenny Anderson. Y'all listen to the Causeway Street Podcast.
For all you new listeners out there, I'm your host, Josue Pavone. I'm joined as usual by my two co-hosts.
I'm Sean Dutra. What's up?
Yeah, talk about
walks
yourself.
on the bee.
There you go. Joel Pavone. What up?
I'm a Pisces. The most romantic.
It leads off with that.
The most romantic sign in all the zodiac.
Oh,
You couldn't tell by my voice already.
oh,
Sexy.
I'm the producer of this ensemble that we call Causeway Street. In case you missed it,
Hey, Bill Walton here, Celtics 1986. You're listening to the Causeway Street Podcast. Yeah, come here for nothing but the truth. This is where dreams come true. Thank you, Boston, for my life.
where are we going?
You guys are such homers.
It's your boy Tay Rozier. You're listening to the Causeway Street Podcast. Now listen to my boys Joe, Sway, Joel, and Sean.
All right, back with another episode of the Causeway Street Podcast. Josue Pavone, Sean Dutra, Joel Pavone, the usual suspects I like to call us. What's up, fellas? How we doing?
welcome back, Sway.
Hello.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
who the
you.
fuck are you?
It's good to be back. Come on, man. It hasn't been that long. Come on.
It's been a
I'm
little
trying
bit.
to bust my balls here. It hasn't been that long.
Been a little bit.
Which, by the way, good job between the two of you in that last episode.
Oh, what you didn't
know?
think? You didn't think we could handle
Well,
it?
no, it's funny because
Oh, that seems like a.
Maybe-
That seems like a. Hey, good job, kid.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
That's not what I meant.
Really?
I meant it as it was a thorough episode. I really enjoyed it. And also, is it just me or is it like you two are the most calm? Like when it's just you two,
It's been a while.
No yelling,
It's
there's
been
no arguing. Like, so do I bring that out of you guys? Am I the reason why you two are like bickering in every other episode?
You're the-
for one reason or another.
You're the EJ, and he's Shaq, and I'm Charles.
I'm not
Must
Shaq.
be the case.
I'm not Shaq.
Then you're Kenny then.
It must be. See, I got to see what happens when EJ's not there. Maybe it's the same.
We had to be a little more
Response.
responsible, I think.
Is that what it was?
I think so.
I think
You guys are like more understanding. You
Yeah.
guys are like, well, yeah, I see your point. But,
Great point, Joel.
But this is what I think. Whereas opposed, you guys are usually like yelling at each other.
Yeah, I didn't swear until like 40 minutes in. See, you come
was
here and I
surprised.
swear first off the bat.
The
man.
first thing that
Jesus.
comes out of your mouth, you're just all over the place.
Sorry, guys.
You're just
No,
cursing up a storm.
I think the Hayward signing had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, we were
That
happy.
calmness.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, that's official now. He was officially introduced as a member of the Boston Celtics Friday.
About time.
So was Avery Bradley. He was officially introduced to the Pistons Thursday. Weren't rocking number 22, but you know what, guys? I have a good reason why. Trust me, Avery Bradley being a Celtic next season would have been a bad thing. All right, and I'll get into that later. We'll also talk about summer league, Tatum believers.
Tatum dots.
It's Dutra's boy now.
Yeah, I want to see. This is what I want to do in this episode. I want to talk about the Tatum believers and the Tatum non-believers. Okay, you know what I mean? Like I want to know the Tatum teamers. Okay, because I want you, the people who really believe in him. If he struggles next season, I don't want you guys to jump off that boat. Okay, so we gotta distinguish everyone's thought on Tatum and see if they're gonna still believe in him when the season starts. Because I think he's the real deal. I think he may struggle here and there, but when he does struggle, I don't want to hear people like Sean over here start talking about faults. Because you know, the second he sees any sign of struggle, he's gonna come back with the Fultz talk.
Now let me say this. I never said Tatum is going to be better than Fultz. I never said that.
Okay.
We can pull
But
the
you-
tape back.
but
I think Tatum looks really good.
Yeah,
I
but
think he's going to be a really good player.
You've gone on record to say that Tatum's not going to be as good as him, right?
Yeah, I think Fultz is a better player.
All right. So if he is,
I think Fultz is a better player, and I think we'll see that over the long
so.
haul.
If Tatum
But if
turns out to
Tatum-
be the better player, though,
then I'll say I'm wrong.
Put it like this: it won't be.
But I think I like Tatum a
No,
lot.
you do. You do.
Right.
You've already said that, which
Yeah.
is a lot more than he could say about Jaylen Brown a year
Yeah.
ago,
Like,
right?
yep.
That's
So then
true.
it won't be that this year.
Right.
I think if Tatum does struggle, he won't say, "Well, Celtics shouldn't have drafted Jaylen Brown," and then they wouldn't have gone down this road either.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. It's truthfully, you have to see how bad the Lakers suck to make this comparison. Because my whole thing is, why'd you trade the first overall pick, right?
Danny wanted that other pick.
That's what I mean, though. But if
know.
we don't get that pick,
He's a hoarder. We know that.
right? So that's what I'm saying. If the Lakers don't fall to 2 to 5 and we don't get their pick next year, then then I don't know. Then it doesn't make as much sense to me. So
all right. Well, also we'll talk about another signing that the Celtics pulled off last week, and this was like moments after you guys finished recording last week's episode. Aaron Baines.
No, literally moments after.
Yeah, literally like minutes after you guys recorded that episode.
We just missed it. Sorry.
So we'll talk about what he can do for the Celtics. And lastly, I want to ask you guys, who do you think, which team had the best offseason? And I know we talked about grading Danny Ainge and the Celtics, but what about the other teams out there in the NBA? Because it's been a crazy offseason. A lot of moves, a lot of players being moved around. So we'll talk about that. And that's pretty much what we got. And, of course, at the end of the show, we'll wrap things up with Joel's in case you missed it. And
world famous.
It's going to be a jam-packed show. But, okay, first things first, guys.
Have the Celtics given up a lot to fit Hayward on the roster?
No.
No? You don't think?
No, I don't think so because...
I just want to piggyback on something I said last week. I feel like the Celtics have gotten younger, coming off Eastern Conference Finals, and now there's only with the waiving of Jordan Mickey now, 7 guys returning from last year's squad.
Okay,
and then you got Tatum, and you got Yabusele. Eventually, he's going to sign at some point, and all like these rookies,
but Gordon,
19 and 20-year-old.
I don't think.
And Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, but what's the thing?
Gordon Hayward, as young as he is as well, has very limited playoff experience.
Yeah, but what's the thing we've been talking about the last 2 years? That there's no way Ainge's going to be able to keep all these guys, Unless
I got you.
They open up another D-League team.
Haven't we been waiting for a star to be brought in? I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sick and tired of the Jerebkos.
No, I know
I'm
that.
sick and tired of the Olynyks. All those guys, all these role players.
No, I get.
It was a team full of role players. Now
Sean,
a star.
You can do a lot worse than Kelly Olynyk and Jerebko. Bite your tongue, man.
I get what you're saying.
Ow.
I get what you're saying, but
I was like, you all right?
but why was possibly acquiring Jimmy Butler a bigger deal than signing Gordon Hayward or trading for Paul George?
Well, because I don't think you could have gotten Jimmy Butler or Paul George for Jonas Jerebko, Kelly Olynyk.
But I'm saying, if
you gave up Jordan Mickey, right? So you're giving up end of the roster fodder, role player, minimal players, all right, and you bring in a star.
No, you're missing my point. All I'm saying is, forget the names for a second, right? Yeah. I'm just saying, like this deep team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals has almost not completely turned over, but like more than half the team is gone. And you're bringing in Gordon Hayward, and then you're bringing in a bunch of 19 and 20-year-olds. That's my point.
You kept your core. Except Avery Bradley, you kept your core.
Yeah, that's what's key. And I would have been really disappointed if Danny Ainge were to do that sign and trade for Hayward.
Right,
I guess you can get him straight up.
Yep.
Why are you sending off Jay Crowder?
Yeah.
Of course, obviously, the other shoe dropped and he traded away Bradley, but at least you trade away Bradley and you got 2 more rotation guys. At least at this point, on paper, Baines, I don't know. Well, that's yet to be seen. But at least with Morris, you're getting a rotation guy, and you're getting what Ainge loves more than anything, more than life.
All right,
draft pick.
So I guess
future draft pick. Ainge loves that.
I guess what I'm getting at is before the free agent period started, it was like, oh, the Celtics are going to build this super team. It didn't happen. Gordon Hayward was the only player that decided that this offseason for the Celtics was either a bust or a win.
Yeah, it was all
right. It was all based around him.
Yep.
So now, are the Celtics better than they were before the draft?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
You think they're better than a 53-win team?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like I said last episode, it's the Isaiah Thomas health thing. That's the only thing that bugs me. If everyone's healthy, they're going to be.
I'm not going to go as far as say maybe they win 60, but I think they could flirt with that line.
Yeah,
58, 59.
Even if and it doesn't. I don't think the win total to me is that big.
It's not the win total. I'm just saying, like comparing that 53-win team to this team. Are they going to challenge the Cavs? I mean, me and Sean agreed that they won't really challenge the Cavs as constructed right now. So pending any other moves.
I know they're new, right? So they're new players we get. So we haven't seen them on the court yet. But I'm sorry, I'm taking Gordon Hayward, Jayson Tatum, Marcus Morris.
Say it, Baines. Say it.
No, you don't have to say it.
I'd say
Aaron
it.
Baines.
The rest of the core, or you're just talking about the role guys?
I'm taking those 4 players over Kelly Olynyk, Tyler Zeller, Jordan Mickey, Jonas Jerebko, Avery Bradley. I'm taking we got better players, more talent. We lost some guys that were maybe a little bit of a glue guy, but really, Jonas Jerebko is really the only one that was sort of a glue guy, I think. Avery Bradley as well, but we got better. The team's better. Just because it's not the same team, they turned it over. If you keep going back with the same
I'm not trying to say the same team. I thought the point of making those moves is to make the team better.
Yeah.
I, in my opinion, don't think that they're much better than they were before the draft.
But they do.
That's just me.
They now have the ability to keep this going long term. Mm-hmm. Even if Isaiah says, you're not going to pay me enough money, I'm going here. You still are in an okay place because you have Gordon Hayward now. Tatum. You have guys, you have Jaylen Brown, whatever. You have these guys that are ready to play and could be superstars, right? And an all-star that you didn't have before. So they're in a great spot, and they're better than last year. I think so. I believe that.
I think people overlook the fact that the Celtics now have another solidified 20-plus point scorer.
Okay.
When's the last time?
I see what you're saying.
Look, I loved Avery Bradley. I love the fact that he was a two-way player. I love his defense more than anything about him. But he was never that solidified 20-point scorer.
I got you. It's more of a devil's advocate kind of thing because Sports Illustrated, they graded the Celtics with a C because they didn't draft Dutra's boy Fultz. They didn't pull out the Paul George deal. And like I said, Gordon Hayward is the only saving grace, I think, for the Celtics offseason.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, yeah, Tatum also, but we said it before. If they don't sign Hayward, they get an F. They failed the offseason.
This is the thing. I think there was a spot that Ainge had the opportunity to build a super team if you get Paul George, right? Yeah. Like if you were able to bring that in, boom.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Though. I feel like Ainge was trying to take advantage of a vulnerable Cleveland team right now. Yeah, they got no GM and they've barely made any major moves.
Yeah, that's another thing that's being overlooked.
That's what I'm saying. There's been no major moves, so they're like, if there was a time to take advantage of Cleveland's woes, it's right now. Yeah, so that's why they're looking for Paul George, possibly Jimmy Butler. Shit, you hear Marc Gasol's name being tossed around in there and shit like that.
Bullshit,
but you never know. I'm just saying.
I know.
I still don't think Danny's done. I guess what I'm trying to say at the end. If this is the team right now as constructed that's going into the next season, I'm not that excited because not to diss Gordon Hayward, but we were talking about.
But you're about to diss him.
No, but the best small forwards in the East. Yeah. You said LeBron, and then after LeBron, what about the Greek Freak?
It's like when people say about the Greek Freak. It's like when people say with all due respect.
Yeah, we forgot about the Greek Freak. And if Melo's still in New York, I mean. Melo.
Don't even say it. Don't even say it.
I mean, Melo's still a better pure scorer, in my opinion. And I'm the only one that had, just to toot my horn a little bit, I was the only one that had Gordon on my top 25 out of everyone on this table.
Listen, my top 25 sucked, okay? I don't want to hear you say I don't like people because they weren't on my top 25.
Your top 30.
I ended up adjusting that thing 1,000 times.
Top 27B.
I literally would just pick 5 players and just say their names from 25 to 15.
I'm just saying. I think
you took it seriously, Sean.
With the whole,
hopefully next season you'll do better.
Trying to stay positive, but trying to stay realistic as well.
Sure. So I think what you're saying then is, and I agree with this.
I still think they're the second best team after Cleveland. Though.
They didn't do enough to get past Cleveland.
Not to get past Cleveland, but to be a lot better than they were last year.
But I don't get what's the alternative. What were they supposed to do? They had to force that Paul George trade.
But that's what it is.
I think that's what people are so upset about.
If you had to give up, if you now had Paul George for 1 year and he didn't resign and you gave a lot away, okay, maybe you're putting yourself in a hole there. But that team would have been the Celtics with Paul George, Gordon Hayward, Isaiah Thomas, Al Horford. They probably would have beat the Cavs. They would have beat the Cavs.
Go to the finals of that team.
You know what I mean? So that was, and that's the problem. Like, I think we looked at it like, holy shit, we can get this. This will be fucking awesome. But then it didn't happen. But we're still in a good place.
That's what I'm saying. But
I think Danny did it right to just make it, okay, we're going to get younger here. We're going to have good All-Stars. We're still going to be really good next year. But we're also have a good plan for the rest of the
to go full circle, you're kind of like, with Crowder, who's he's listening and he knows everything that's been going on.
He's listening to the podcast?
No, not the podcast.
What up, Jay?
I hope he is, but what up if he is? But I don't know. I just feel like he
doesn't want to say what you.
I just feel like with somebody with Crowder, like
maybe he is listening. Someone with Crowder, he's the best player of all time.
Someone like Crowder, like how do you come back to this fucking team and I'm all in, guys. Like, I know you guys try to get rid of me. Easily. You know what I mean? Everyone was about Hayward over me. I don't know. That's just me.
He's a team guy.
I don't think, look, okay, I think he's a team guy, but I don't think he's going to.
He's a passionate dude.
I don't think his feelings are hurt about the trade talks, but I think if he doesn't get that starting role, we're gonna see a problem in the locker room. I really do, because I think Jay, I think Jay considers himself like much better than he actually is. And that's great. I love that confidence. I love that about him. But at the same time, he has to remember that A, Gordon Hayward's a better player than him. B, he didn't turn in an excellent season last year. Let's face it. Compared to what he did last year, there was no improvement, right? Can we say that at least?
Well, from 2016 to 2017? Okay.
There was no improvement. If anything, I thought
I think he settled more for jumpers and three-pointers.
I think he settled more. I think he was a little disappointing on both ends of the floor. He wasn't the same defender he was.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think this is the year where if he comes out strong, which I think he will, I think he'll bounce back, he'll be fine. But if he doesn't, if he struggles, if he turns out being a sixth man off the bench, I don't think he's going to take that lightly. I really don't. Tatum?
That's the question?
Tatum?
You didn't even inflect. Tatum?
Well, I'm asking. I mean, look. Okay, Sean, I like what you said last episode because it's a great way to put it. It's all about the eye test, right?
Yes.
In Summer League, you can't look at the stats. You can't say like, oh, this guy, shot 60% or whatever, or he's averaging 30 points. It's about the eye test. And the biggest thing to take away from Tatum in this Summer League is the way he's able to create his own shot. Yep. I mean, I think the fact that he can that fadeaway, the space that he creates, I think that's something that no one else on this team can really do because Isaiah Thomas can score for you, but he can't score in that way, right?
I think if Tatum can play and Tatum can come in off the bat and let's say if he's the favorite for Rookie of the Year coming out of the Summer League, which I think I've heard a lot, he's going to be playing a lot of minutes then, right? So again, Danny, lucking out, may have found his Paul George type player, creating your own shot, can hit the three, can defend, 6'8", wing. He may have just drafted the next Paul George, right? So, yeah, he passes the eye test. He can create his own shot. The Celtics, like you said, have nobody other than Isaiah Thomas, which really, can he create his own shot? Yeah, he can get to the rim. He can create his own shot, but it's completely different than what you're seeing from Tatum. From Tatum, it looks like he's been playing in the NBA for years. The way he looked out on the Summer League. Now, granted, again, Summer League, but I don't think you have to pump the brakes on it. All these people that are saying, "No, you got to pump the brakes because it's just the Summer League."
Just tap the brakes.
No, I just get out of here. Like he legitimately looks good. Like when LeBron and Wade then in 03 draft class was tearing up the Summer League, people weren't pumping the brakes then.
Well, they were on his jock since high school, so it really didn't matter.
But I actually think this draft class is gonna be good. Like except Lonzo Ball.
Finally,
this draft class is gonna be really, really good. Like,
well, one thing that's really interesting is that if you see interviews from other members of the draft class, they all say the same about Tatum. Like, it's almost like they're just as hyped as the Celtics fans are. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the hype is real. I think there's like you say, yeah, people are going to say, oh, it's just Summer League, but I mean, you talk about the 03 class. I'm not going to say the hype is that high, but it's pretty high, in terms of ESPN showing all these covering these Summer League games. I mean, have we seen something like this since that 03 class? I mean, ESPN with the late night games with Lonzo Ball and zeroing on
the place
on all
is
these
sold
top 3
out,
picks.
dude.
Yeah, sold out Summer League games.
Well, I mean, that has a lot to do with his pops too.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with the ball. The ball
clan.
The ball and chain.
Yeah.
As I like to call him.
There you go.
Big baller brand.
Big baller.
Ridiculous.
Even though he was wearing Nikes the other day.
And then he wore Adidas. Who the hell cares what type of shoes this dude's wearing? Jesus.
ESPN.
And I just turned on NBA TV and they're like, "Really, get it in Nikes the other night, do it in Adidas tonight." It's like, I don't care.
Wait, does Big Baller brand have a swoosh like Nike? No, I don't think they do.
No. Stupid.
Is he going to wrestle, by the way? Was that just a one-time thing? Is he going to...
It was on Raw?
Is he going to be in the next pay-per-view or something? Are they lining something up? Is he in a storyline for the next pay-per-view?
Not after what Little Ball... What's the Little Ball's name? The younger brother?
Oh, yeah, dropping N-bombs.
Dropping N-bombs on live TV. Don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. If there was any storyline.
Was there even an apology for that?
I have seriously zero clue what the fuck you guys
only LeVar Ball.
You don't have to explain it. I don't actually care. I don't actually care.
Well, if there was any storyline, I think WWE has nixed it because they're the only ones that,
they're the only ones that apologize.
They're the only ones that apologize.
No one from the Ball family
were like,
they did.
That's how we talk.
Weird family.
Okay, so if he is the real deal, and if he
Jayson Tatum, not Lonzo Ball, right?
Yeah, right. Jayson Tatum. If he is the real deal, and he ends up being your starting 4, like where does that put the Celtics in terms of this whole positionless lineups that we've been seeing from Brad Stevens. I mean, now you're talking about what? An undersized 4. Where do you put Crowder? Where do you put Hayward? I mean, let's face it, Crowder
doesn't matter.
I think it kind of matters. We're talking about Crowder because let's face it, Crowder's a little sensitive.
Yeah.
If Crowder's not starting, I don't think that's going to go over well.
If he's gonna pout on the bench, like then you trade him. But like you, no, you
because teams have been lining up to fucking want Crowder, right? That's the reason. That's one of the reasons why Bradley's gone and Crowder's still here.
My guess is that Danny's asking for a lot for Crowder, but I mean, I think Crowder's gonna give great depth. I don't think he's gonna have a problem. I don't see him as that type of player. I don't at all.
Crowder?
Yeah.
Really?
No.
This is the same guy that was bitch moaning and complaining just because
about
people
fans.
were cheering.
Yes,
cheering
but that was
about
because he was they didn't have Gordon Hayward at that time. I would be pissed too if you're like, hey, Jay, you're doing a really good job, but we really want that guy instead. Like,
his whole thing is he thinks he's better than Gordon Hayward.
Exactly.
Okay, then
he's like, why do you want that guy? You have me.
You have me.
And
exactly.
have you guys seen any tweets about him congratulating his newest teammate, Gordon Hayward? Well, I haven't seen him.
Plus, the plot thickens now with Aaron Baines and Morris.
At the end of the day, I think Jay Crowder is a team guy. I truly believe that. Like, he may come out to the media the wrong way, but every interaction I see him with the actual team.
I agree with you before July 4th.
No, so you think the Gordon Hayward signing is the end of Jay Crowder?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I think his motivation won't be there.
I just think Jay.
That's just me.
I doubt it, man. I doubt it. The Celtics gave him a chance. Without the Celtics sucking and trading Rondo and getting him back, they gave him the chance to become an actual starter in the NBA.
I get it, but
I'm just saying
he's been rumored. He's been on the trading block, and nobody wants him technically.
Right. So
right, other than the Celtics. So you're kind of like, well, I guess you're one of us for this season.
Here's the great thing. You have depth. Okay, you now have depth with between. Let's say you're taking the 2 through 4 and just putting them together. Because truthfully, Crowder, Hayward, Smart, Morris can't play the 2, but Morris can play the 3 or 4. Did I miss somebody? Brown, Tatum, Crowder, Smart, Morris, Hayward. You have 6 wings to play. And Rozier will probably play the 1, but you have 6 wings
for 3 positions
that are interchangeable for 3 positions, and you're going to get legitimate contributions from every single one of them. That's a great problem to have, I think. And now with Horford holding down the 5, Baines being at the 5 too, you have so much depth. I think it's a great thing, and I think you're going to see some interesting lineups with all of that talent. You're going to see some crazy small ball, new age NBA lineups from Brad Stevens. It's gonna be something to watch.
But remember when the Celtics had too many guards? Now they have like no guards, and it's all wings.
No, they have the perfect amount of guards. We're not talking about guys that guards that are not playing. We're not going to say, oh, this guy should be playing, right? Rozier will squeeze in there. You have Smart, you have Thomas. Bradley thing. I mean, the thing I like,
Jalen is a 2 as well.
The reason I'm starting to warm up a lot to this Bradley deal, well, one of many reasons is it was sort of a 2-for-1, right? I mean, you get Morris, you also get the pick, but now you had space to go out and get Baines. So now it's like you're getting 2 guys in the front court, and
Baines was
you had that
mid-level.
You had that draft pick.
Yeah, you got 4.3.
Yeah, was he in the mid-level? I think whether you make the Bradley deal or not, they still had that mid-level to give to Baines.
Did they? Because that's $8 million. Morris was making a lot less than $8 million. That opened up to $4 million.
No, the reason why they did the deal was that they needed $3-point-something million to sign Hayward. So Morris is making 5 and
cap mid-level exception, whatever the fuck it is. I hate the cap in the NBA. Just simplify that.
All right,
shit.
so then to go back to what you said on draft night, Tatum, right?
Why you drafting? I was a little drunk on draft.
I know, but why? But you brought up a good point. Why are you drafting Tatum if you still haven't gotten rid of like Crowder? If Tatum, now that we've seen him a little bit in summer league, he could be a rookie of the year candidate. How many minutes is going to play versus Crowder?
Well, I think they're all going to find minutes. But to going back to why draft Tatum, right? Okay, at that time you had Bradley on the team and you were going to draft Fultz, right? So you would have had an overflow at some position anyways, and you didn't have Hayward at that time either.
But then they were also talking about getting rid of Bradley, Smart,
right,
Crowder for George.
It's a good thing. Like, the minutes will be there. Injuries will happen, right? I mean...
You're bagging on injuries now?
No, I'm just saying depth is a good thing. And you got 2 young guys that, if Tatum doesn't get minutes right off the bat, it's not the end of the world.
Right. I love Brown and I love Tatum coming off the bench.
Yes.
But if you're gonna force Crowder to also come off the bench,
I think Crowder has shown time in and time out that he can play crunch time minutes.
Yeah, especially when you need the big stops.
Exactly.
Especially when you need to spread the floor because let's face it, I mean, he's not a excellent three-point shooter, but he's a guy that you can't leave open in the corner.
And there's going to be growing pains, man. Like, Tatum's not going to come into the league and be able to play Brad Stevens type defense and hit all his assignments and come in and not be a liability. I mean, even though he looks really good, there's still a big chance he could come in and have some growing pains early. You have a veteran in Crowder who has proven to play the system. He's a super, super valuable piece off that bench. Like, I don't think anyone should say we need to trade Crowder now because you have the caps.
Oh, I'm not saying that you need to trade him, but if there's a deal out there that you can throw Crowder in and make him happy because he'll probably be a starter somewhere else. I don't know. I still think
Crowder's gonna sneak into the starting lineup.
Yeah, I think so too. If not, he'll be the guy that finishes the games.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Baines? I mean, he's not exactly a rim protector. He can rebound. He's a big that can give you, productive minutes.
He might be
not crazy about it, but he might exactly. But by the end of the season, he might be the best rim protector. Him and probably Morris are going to be the best rim protectors.
I know,
along with Horford.
So I know it's summertime, and I know we don't have a ton to talk about, but Aaron Baines is nothing. Okay? Anybody who wants to come in here and say, dude, we got Aaron Baines, he's going to be a starter, best rebounder on the team. Yeah, he's nothing. He's absolutely nothing, okay? I know we got to fish and find something
nothing.
about
He can give you valuable minutes, but I'm not going to sit here and say, boom, we got our rebounder now, guys. We got our rim protector now.
The only thing he can do is he can maybe be an enforcer. That's all I want him to do. If he can just go and just foul people, he's 5 fouls. You're paying $4.3 million for 5 fouls.
Does he give you more than Amir Johnson?
Yeah, I think he gives you more than Amir Johnson.
No, he does not.
He does.
I don't know, Sean. Amir had a terrible season last year.
Amir had a terrible season.
The year before was a lot better than last year.
Amir had a terrible season.
A lot less.
Amir had a terrible season. It was still better than Baines, okay? Let's not get on this hype train. Like, what is this hype train around Aaron Baines?
It's not a hype train.
Were you watching a bunch of Baines games last year?
No, I actually, the only reason why I even know who the fuck Aaron Baines is, 2 reasons. Stupid haircut and mask. Looks like a fool. And Al Horford hit that game winner over him looking like an idiot. Trying to block Al Horford fadeaway.
All right, no. Seriously, though.
I'm serious.
He's like, I'm dead serious. What are you talking about?
This is 100% serious.
Let's not downplay the fact that he was in the San Antonio Spurs system the first 3-4 years of his career.
How many people have left the Spurs and had successful careers?
George Hill.
Because they got Kawhi Leonard for him. They knew he was a player. No one, as like one of those up-and-coming Spurs dudes, actually leaves the Spurs unless they suck.
He's gonna watch. He'll probably be a starter, and you'll be like trying to convince yourself.
Aaron Baines gonna be Sean's new Jaylen Brown this season. There you go. I can already see
Aaron Baines. I can't wait for all these Twitter guys. Oh, I love Aaron Baines. He's the best.
You'll be the same way.
Tyler have some name for him that everybody.
Yeah. Oh, that brings toughness to the team.
The same way you loved Jonas. The same way you love Olynyk on certain nights.
Fucking some people on Twitter piss me the fuck off too. Just why are you positive about everything?
That's why they're there.
Everything. Like some Twitters are just fucking everything that happens is positive. Oh, this is good, great. It's Aaron Baines. Yes, put us up at the top. It's like Aaron fucking Baines, man.
Yeah, you're like that too. When for someone that you like, someone that you're a fan of, that's all positivity.
But these people aren't a fan of Aaron Baines. They're Celtics fans.
They're Celtics fans, exactly. So
I'm a fan of the Celtics, and I talk shit about the Celtics all the time. People that are all sunshine and roses and unicorns and rainbows.
I don't know, man. When it comes to Marcus Smart and Jay Crowder, that's how you sound sometimes.
I get on Jay Crowder all the time. I get on Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart, maybe not. I like Marcus.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever said a bad word about Marcus Smart.
I don't think so.
No, I have. His hair. Remember I talked about his hair?
And then he cut it.
Like
2 months after that, you're getting on
the Marcus Cousins. He can't do no wrong in your opinion. He could kill a guy. You'd be like, oh, I love that about him. He could come and fucking murder people. Nobody will mess with him.
If he's murdering people and still putting up 20 and 10, on my team any day of the week.
There you go.
Isn't Baines Australian?
He is.
I sort of like that.
He also tweeted out what are the best barbecue spots in Boston, and I had nothing. I can't even think of a great barbecue spot in Boston. Can you?
Blue Ribbon.
Besides like the
Tell him to go to the Boston Market, dude.
the national chains. I mean, I can't think of like great barbecue spots in Boston. But
Which is a shame. Why do we not know great barbecue spots in Boston?
because it's not Memphis. I don't know.
Vince
I don't know how to answer
Because we're not Australian.
Vince needs to open up. Vince Wilfork needs to open up a barbecue spot in Boston or a Patriot Place.
All right, so Avery Bradley, like I said at the top, he was introduced as a member of the Detroit Pistons.
You guys cry?
Still pretty weird. I didn't cry. No, I didn't. And I'll tell you why. I think Avery Bradley is going to be a guy who doesn't play 82 games next year.
Did you listen to the podcast last week, man?
Yeah.
Other than last season, and I did my fucking research on this. Other than last season,
you got counter stats?
Because Zach's not here. The two seasons prior to last season, he played 77 and 76 games.
Is that 82?
But it's only what? It's fucking 5-game difference. It's 5-game difference.
Saying, there's a
the year before that, in 2013, he played 68. Hold on, shut up. He played 68 games.
See, here we go. Here
but
comes
he
the
was
bickering.
down.
Here it comes.
But he was in the D League before Doc inserted him as a starting 2. All right. The year before that, 60 games because it was a shortened season because of the lockout.
Okay.
Did he play all of them?
Yeah, 60 games.
The last
60 games.
The last 2 years, okay, he played over 70. But why is that so surprising to Sean and I? Why? Answer that question.
What do you mean?
Why are we not? You're somewhat surprised, right? Because it doesn't feel like it's been 70 or 70 plus games. But why is that?
Because last year and against the Hawks 2 seasons ago, he was out.
No, but this is the thing. He got injured
he always
in the
plays
playoffs.
through nagging injuries. He plays injured all the time.
Yeah, and you know
All
what
the
too?
time.
Like if you think about it, the reason why I think in my mind I have him listed as injury prone is because in the Hawks series, injured first game. I
just sent you that, yes.
And then 2012 against the Heat, injured first game when he popped his shoulder out or whatever.
Because he kept popping out and popping it back in.
That's what I'm saying though. It's like he can't.
But that's what I'm saying. But that was the playoffs though.
Right, I know, but I'm just saying he can't stay healthy. My problem is that when he plays.
So you just mentioned 2 times in his career, at least in the last 5 years. 5 years now, from 2012 to now, where he was out, injured.
No,
and last year he was injured, but you brought up last week that the Celtics were 19-6 without him.
19-8.
Okay,
because he missed 27 games.
Yeah, but how many of those games that the Celtics barely won because there was no one defending the top perimeter player?
How many games? How many games did the Celtics barely win last year? I feel like it was every single win they had was a barn burner. Hey, Avery Bradley's a great player. There's something to be said about players that can play 82 games. There's something to be said about that. 80 to 82 games.
Thomas didn't play 82 games last year.
I understand.
Crowder's been injured ever since he came in the Celtics. And Smart's never played a full season until last year.
But you're not giving those people, Isaiah aside, and Isaiah has played 82 games before.
I'll say last year, though. I'm just saying last year.
That aside.
No one played 82 games last year, by the way, for the Celtics.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying, like, injuries was all around for the Celtics.
To me, it's the little nagging ones. And I just feel like those tend to lead to a big injury where it's going to lead to him missing, 30, 40 games. However, this is a contract year. So, again, I expect him to play through a lot of those nagging injuries just so he can get himself a contract. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you had to choose out of all those guys, if we're talking about the Celtics brass, I'm not surprised Avery Bradley's the odd man out because let's face it, Danny Ainge loves Marcus Smart. Danny Ainge loves Jay Crowder. Rozier. Not only because of what Jay Crowder can do on the floor, but because, let's face it, he's one of the most team-friendly contracts you're going to find in the NBA right now. So I feel like he was the odd man out of those 3 guys. They dealt him. It is what it is. Hopefully, Marcus Morris doesn't go to jail, and we can see how he does.
I can't believe more people not talking about
the front court. I mean, trust me, it's being talked about, but I think the reason why it's not, in the forefront of Celtics news is because we've seen a lot of these NBA players kind of get away with stuff like this. We see them pay their way out of it, and they're all set. Hopefully that's the case with Marcus Morris. Hopefully he's in the lineup after he probably serves a 4-game suspension.
By the way, I'm not even mad about that, man. You can't even get on him about beating the crap out of that dude.
That's fine, but then what if the worst happens?
I mean, he should have had somebody else beat the crap out of the dude for him.
Well, according to him and his brother, they weren't there.
Well, they were. I mean, for you guys, if you don't know the story, this random dude, maybe like a
When they were both in Phoenix.
They both were in Phoenix.
2014, 15.
Some dude and it was like a charity basketball game or like something like a youth
high school,
basketball
right?
game at a high school or some dude was like trying to hit on their mom or whatever, and it's been going on. And he sent some inappropriate pictures, and they found out. So then they beat the fuck out of the dude. I mean, that's not. You can't even get mad at that.
But you're
sending D pics
when you're.
I don't know, man. I don't know what kind of inappropriate.
Well, when you say inappropriate pictures, I think D pics.
I would assume. I mean,
if you're an average Joe Schmo, yes. But if you're
your D to someone's mom, man.
No, I'm just saying. But when you're an average guy, fine. You know what I mean? But if
that's
you're
fine?
someone, no, I'm saying that's
he's saying to beat somebody up,
to
not
beat somebody up,
somebody's mom,
and not have anybody. It doesn't matter who's around to see it. But if you're in the fucking NBA, especially if you're in the NBA and NFL, those two main ones, you might want to stay away from that kind of drama, right? I'm not saying I disagree with what they did.
How old is this guy?
I heard or I've read it was an older gentleman.
Oh, okay.
Well, obviously, if you send in pictures and say to their mother, yeah,
allegedly,
yeah, allegedly, you're right.
Is that fair game though? If he's older?
No, I just no, probably because
I think there's more to it. He must have said something.
It's someone that
had
they knew.
to have said something disrespectful.
I think it was like a coach or a mentor or something like that.
Someone that they knew.
Yeah, like something like that.
Someone that's like their boy. Oh,
yeah, like something like they've.
There's a woman witness too. That's like she's adamantly describing details of what happened between this older gentleman allegedly and the Morris twins, and they're not hard to spot. They look exactly the same. They have exactly the same matching tattoos.
That's weird. That's really weird.
What if it was just one?
I forgot about the tattoo thing until I heard the last.
I mean, they both have been charged for the same crime.
36 years old. The guy was 36. So you think the mom's probably
late 40s, 50s?
Yeah.
What if she had him as a teen?
Let me take a look at the mom. This will really.
Yeah, right,
yeah. Pull that up.
See
what we're dealing with here.
Yeah. Let's see what we're dealing with. Yeah.
I mean, if it looks anything like Steph Curry's mom,
definitely doesn't. Nope, definitely doesn't.
So are we talking about Steph Curry's mom or Kevin Durant's mom?
We're talking about just
LeBron's mom.
Just like a mom type looking mom.
Durant's mom. We're talking about
Durant's mom.
Take a look for yourself, guys.
Durant's mom.
Yeah.
Just think, who's T.I.'s wife? Just think her 25 years later.
Tiny.
There you go. Am I spot on?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got the tiny thing going.
I think Tiny looks like this now, body wise. Her face still is a little behind.
Yeah. Anyways,
Tiny is gross.
Yeah, she is.
She is.
Good. I'm glad you guys just said that right away.
And it's funny because T.I. made that song Mediocre, and it's like, really? You don't want mediocre. You don't want mediocre.
T.I., let me get this straight. You, right?
T.I. clearly is not in this for the physical aspect of his wife or his mother of his children. Obviously, they were together before he became famous, so he's like, "This my down. That's my down chick."
I don't get people like that. If I got famous, I'd ditch everybody, bro. I ditch everybody.
That's messed up. You gonna do that to us, man? When you get famous,
she held him down. She held him down, but when
we got to get famous with Sean because he's gonna ditch us.
Like
Sean's gonna have mad new friends.
I don't know about this whole the Causeway Street thing. You know,
he doesn't believe in the Drake thing. He's gonna have all kinds of new friends.
And they hold it up like it's a trophy. Like, I stayed with this ugly girl
since day one.
Since day one, I've been with her. And like, I don't know.
I mean, we talk about her now, but I forget how she looked. And her, who she used to be with in Vogue days.
Guys, I'm just kidding. I'm not an asshole. I'm really
Tiny
not.
was in Vogue?
This is a joke.
Yeah.
This is a joke. I would stand strong with the people that build me to this point. Not a chance.
I don't know.
Okay, so
all I keep hearing is no new friends, no new friends.
So we went from talking about athletes' moms to their significant others.
Welcome to the off season.
To T.I. and Tiny. All right. Speaking of off season, teams around the league. A lot of guys, been swapped teams, and we've seen a lot of free agent signings. Timberwolves,
the Timbies,
they easily won the offseason, right?
No, man, Chicago.
It's the year of the Wolves. Ow, 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 ow!
It's so crazy.
That was a really bad wolf call.
Yeah, that was terrible. It's so.
Why am I continuing to do that?
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like it sounds like Hoyt in Training Day. Remember when Denzel Washington's trying to get him to
give me a wolf call?
He goes, "Come on, man, that's a rooster.
That's a rooster.
That was a rooster. You just did a rooster."
No, I said a wolf, not a rooster. A wolf. That's a rooster. Give me a wolf.
That's too funny. Year of the Wolves, baby.
He said, "What the hell is that? That was a fucking rooster. This is not an option."
But come on, I mean, from Jimmy Butler, Jeff Teague, Jamal Crawford,
that team.
Taj Gibson.
Yeah.
I was convinced after the Taj Gibson thing. I was like, "Oof."
And then they threw in Jamal Crawford after that. So that starting lineup now. I mean, we tried to hash it out.
I think Taj is in the starting lineup.
Taj is in the starting lineup. Teague,
Cat.
Butler. That's a good backcourt.
Can't forget about my boy Cat.
Wiggins,
love me some Cat.
Karl Anthony Towns, and Taj Gibson in the front court.
Was that a cat right there? Oh. Cat noise you just made? Ow,
Oh. That's a rooster. Give me a wolf.
Guys, I'll be
in a year or two. They're in the Western Conference Finals. Mark my words.
No,
telling you right now. Yep. They will be.
Okay,
maybe
maybe
who's gonna be there?
Well,
Houston?
technically, no.
Are you guys really believe in this Houston thing?
Listen.
Let's talk about Houston differently.
They're going all in because Jimmy after this season's got one more year. I think doesn't he have a player option?
Yes, he does.
Okay, so Tibbs is like, we're going all in right now because I think Teague only signed like a 3-year deal. Crawford's only 1-year deal.
1 year.
Oh, actually, no, it's 2 years.
Oh no, yeah, it is 2 years.
Right,
Yeah,
2
it's
years.
2 years.
Wiggins
Wiggins is coming up, so he's going to be getting a payday soon.
Wiggins will have.
It'll be his 4th season, right?
Yeah, so
He's still on his rookie deal, but he's gonna demand
Wiggins,
some dollars.
Wiggins and Towns.
Cat too. So cap wise, they're like, okay, we only have like a 1 or 2 year window before we have to start making decisions.
Yeah, Wiggins is up at this year because it was a smart draft, right?
There you go. Yeah. So they're no, it wasn't 2014.
No, Wiggins.
No, Wiggins was the year 2000.
Marcus Smart.
No, Wiggins was the year that.
Oh no, you're saying Wiggins. I'm talking about Cat.
Oh no, Wiggins was Marcus Smart.
Yeah, Cat was.
Yeah.
They're up the
year
same
LeBron went back to Cleveland.
Yeah, Cat was 2015.
Cat was 2015.
Okay.
The next year because they had the number 1 pick 2 years in a row.
Exactly.
Freaking ridiculous. Danny trade up.
Blame Cleveland for that one. That's
Yep.
So you're saying Minnesota, right?
I'm saying in a year or two they'll be in the Western Conference.
So you think they're right now, on paper, are they? What seed are they in your opinion? 4? I think they're top 4. I think the Clippers,
I don't
lose a
know.
little
It's gonna
bit.
be tough. It's gonna be really tough for the Timberwolves.
Because
I think,
obviously
to
you
crack top 4.
have the Warriors and you have the Spurs, right?
Well, we know the Thunder is not going to be an 8th seed, right?
Yeah,
they're going to
Warriors-
be much better than they were last
So
year.
maybe I think they're a 5th seed, right? I think they're still one piece away before they're like challenging, the top 4, those top 4 seeds. Because I think right now it would be the Warriors, San Antonio, Houston, and then the Timberwolves.
OKC.
Oh no, actually, you know what?
I got the
OKC.
Timberwolves and then OKC 5th. I think OKC 5th. Right now.
No, OKC.
They're gonna be battling those.
You know what? Butler
5th
has
and
2
4th.
years and then an option. That second year is not an option.
Butler.
Yeah, 2
By the
years
way-
and then 2019-20 is an option.
I thought Jimmy Butler
Danny, you
hated
fucked
Tibbs.
up. Anyways,
I thought Jimmy Butler hated Thibodeau.
no, Chicago, the organization hated Tibbs.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's why they got rid of him and they wanted to play more offense.
He hated Hoiberg more because he wasn't Tibbs.
Right.
That's how that happened.
I see.
Chicago.
That team's gonna be pretty at least fun to watch, and then they could make some noise. They could make some noise. I still think they're gonna have trouble getting out of probably the first round.
That's what I'm saying. If they're battling with OKC for that 4th, 5th seed,
that's the 4th. Imagine that's the 4-5 matchup.
that'd be one hell of a matchup.
Well, I just feel like a lot of these teams, there's just question marks. Maybe whether we're talking about the Clippers, whether we're talking about Utah.
Yeah.
I mean, Utah's not the same
Utah
anymore.
sucks.
Yeah.
Utah sucks now.
They lost Hayward and they got Jerebko. No offense to Jerebko, but jeez.
I mean,
It's not quite the same player.
Sean and I brought up the Kings. They could, try to get battle for that 8th seed.
Utah will be the worst team in the league.
I don't think the Kings are going to be that good.
You know who we're sleeping on?
They got 2 aging stars that are they'd be better fit for a contender.
No, they're not.
And then
gonna
they
be
have
good.
a bunch of young guys.
They're
that
not going
are-
to be good. They're going to be 35 wins though.
Yeah, I don't even think they'll make the playoffs. I mean, George Hill's a good player. Zach Randolph, of course, we've seen what he does. We saw what he did last postseason. But if he doesn't have a superstar or at least an all-star alongside him, I mean, how good is he at this?
I think
this stage of his career.
I think the Kings roster right now is the best that they've had in like 15 years since like the Peja and like Chris Webber days, because they got a good combination of young guys.
I mean, they're still going to win
shooters,
only 35 games.
Yeah, so then I mean, if they can win like 40 games, that's who was the AFC last year out west.
It was the Blazers.
It was the Blazers, and they barely won 40 games.
So here's what I'm thinking. The Pelicans will make the playoffs next year in the West. They will.
See, it's so funny. We were talking about all these teams, and we forgot about the Pelicans.
Forgot all about the Pelicans, and then also Blazers will be there. The Jazz I think will be the worst team in the NBA next year.
Blazers and Pelicans have stayed the same right now. wow. Like
Lakers, Suns. You see any of those teams? I mean, the Suns could sneak up if Devin Booker takes that next step.
What
Lakers,
did Tunis tweet that at you? Or
Lakers are
send
suck.
you a message about that?
No.
No.
But he's driving me today, so I got to say something good about the Suns.
There you go.
But I don't know. The Western Conference is pretty top heavy. But after that top 5, if we're putting the Timberwolves in the top 5.
What about the Nuggets?
What about the Nuggets?
I mean, the Nuggets have the same squad as last year, and they added Millsap.
But they don't have Gallinari.
You were talking about someone that doesn't stay healthy all season long?
Him and Avery Bradley should get a boat together.
Don't say,
what would that accomplish?
I should buy a boat.
Would that make them less injury prone?
I'm on a boat.
I'm on a boat. I just feel like they would live on a boat together.
Yeah.
Don't judge me, motherfucker.
Well, I think
the Western Conference is going to be entertaining, but
Nuggets.
None of these teams are going to challenge the Warriors. So.
Yeah.
No, I know, but we weren't talking about that. We're just talking about like
seeding,
who's in and who's out compared to a season ago. Because you got Timberwolves now. Obviously, they've, like you said, they've won the offseason. The Rockets, if they stay the way they are right now, and with Chris Paul, I still don't know how that's going to work. I'm curious to see.
Those are two guys that really like to have the ball in their hands.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fine. I think it's going to be fine. Because think about it, even if they both want the ball every single time, in the D'Antoni offense, D'Antoni,
yeah,
offense, there are so many shots to go around. It's fine. It's going to be okay. If you put them on like a Thibodeau team, then they'd be fighting tooth and nail. But since there's going to be so many shots and they're just going to be running, it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters.
I don't know.
What about the front court?
That's another player that can't stay healthy. Chris Paul. Are you going to ask him to run all the time? No, it was never been a big runner.
Yeah. So what is the biggest move of this offseason so far?
The biggest
move in the NBA this offseason.
Shit.
Probably have to say the Butler deal, just because of what Minnesota had to give up. I mean, they didn't give up much.
What about OKC? They didn't have to give up much either for Paul George.
I think it's Paul George.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, you're right. Because now Westbrook finally has his, another partner, to help him make these playoff runs, whether they fall short or not. Because I think Paul George is probably going to stay put. I mean, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, now all of a sudden you hear these reports or coming out of his camps saying that, you know what, this whole I want to be a Laker thing may have been overblown. Maybe he didn't really have his heart set on being a Laker no matter what. And I think playing alongside Westbrook is obviously going to help that. Next season they have a great fan base. They have a great starting point with those two guys leading the way, and I think they're going to be in the playoffs no matter what. But in terms of trying to make it until that next hump and trying to make it to the Western Conference Finals, they're going to have to figure that out. But Paul George and Russell Westbrook, I mean, that's a great start. All right, let's wrap this up. Joel, it's about that time.
In case you missed it.
The Knicks have put on hold any trade talks surrounding Carmelo Anthony for the time being. According to the league sources, after a month of reports that the Rockets and the Cavaliers were working on a trade for Melo, the Knicks have paused any conversation centered around Anthony, who was eager to waive his no-trade clause to join either team. In the meantime, it looks like the dysfunctional Knickerbockers are about to hire the Kings GM, Scott Perry, to replace good old Phil Jackson. Both the Kings and New York are working on compensation for stealing Perry from the Sacramento Kings. Thoughts on, you were talking about Houston earlier. If Houston does pull off this trade for Melo, or Cleveland, because Cleveland really hasn't done anything besides sign Jeff Green and Jose Calderon. What do you think? Thoughts on the whole Melo drama, if you will, between New York? Well, in New York, but if he goes to either Houston or Cleveland, what do you think happens?
For some reason, I feel like Cleveland's just going to emerge and somehow get a third team involved and make a deal for him. Because, I mean, the Houston thing, we all know that he has a great relationship with Chris Paul. We know that they can make that work. Yeah. But is that best for Houston? Is that in their best interest?
Well, they do need a third team. And the latest report was that New York or whoever was the third team involved didn't want Ryan Anderson's contract. That's what's holding up this thing.
Yeah,
people don't want Ryan Anderson's contract.
It's really complicated.
It's weird.
and
I don't want Ryan Anderson's contract.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I don't blame teams for not wanting Ryan Anderson's contract.
I mean, I think it's his contract, not him, the player. Because
right.
I mean, I think he did pretty well last season.
But it's
That's
just
me.
It's just funny to me how Cleveland's been so quiet this offseason. I mean, they signed Jeff Green. Guys.
They have no room for anybody.
I know.
Anybody.
When you go out and sign Jeff Green, that means
Jose Calderon.
That means you got nothing. Like you're scraping pennies right now.
Like, you know what's funny too?
You know who signed Jeff Green last year? Orlando signed Jeff Green last year. Okay.
But you know what's funny? I'm surprised that. Maybe it could happen.
You got Calderon, you got Calderon taking selfies in the locker room and everything. It's like, what's going on there?
You got D Wade who opted in to stay in Chicago for one more season. I don't understand why he didn't opt out and just say, you know what, fuck it, I'll just take less money in Cleveland. Hey, I'll go help you guys out.
What is it? 25 million reasons.
I know, but how much money has he made over his career though?
Still, like he's gonna take the year off and come back next year and go wherever LeBron's going. That's it.
Yeah, Dwayne Wade's just chilling right now. I mean, he's a Chicago guy. He feels, I don't know, I feel like he almost feels devoted to the city.
I feel like Chicago's going to do a buyout at some point. How does he fit with that team?
Yeah, that could happen. I can see that happening. I can see that happening mid-season. You can see a buyout. If they keep going this tanking route, which is clearly looks like they're tanking.
If they're tanking, why would they buy him out? He's not going to play. He'd probably just be on the DL for the second half of the year.
Or we could see what we saw the Celtics did with Rondo. I mean,
you trade him.
If
you want to trade him, yeah.
But who's going to trade for him?
Not going to buy him out. I mean, who knows?
$23 or $24 million. You know, that's the same thing with Melo. You need a third team to make that work, or a fourth team.
If I had to guess, I think Cleveland,
Sacramento. That's who we trade for.
I think the conversations that Cleveland is talking about right now.
7 seed, here they come.
I think the biggest debate within management is Kevin Love. If we're going to bring new talent, he's the odd man out.
Where is this conversation happening? Because they have no management.
I know, right?
The owners, I guess.
LeBron James.
And
Griffin. No, that's his name.
No.
Gilbert. It's LeBron and Gilbert.
No.
Yeah, it's LeBron and Dan Gilbert.
It's LeBron James and the Mirror. That's who's having this conversation.
And I think they're at a.
What do you think about Kevin Love, LeBron?
I think LeBron and Dan Gilbert are they're at a standstill.
Look.
One guy wants to keep him, the other guy's like, no, let's get rid of him. But you know what? Nobody fucking wants him. Nobody wants Kevin Love.
LeBron.
Kevin Love has proven that no team believes Kevin Love could be their guy. Their top guy. So no one's going to fork over that type of salary cap to bring him in.
I mean, personally, I think New York should hold on to Melo because I think his trade value is too low right now. Other than what he's making for the next 2 seasons, 54, 55 million, let him play. Let him show, other teams, you know what? Maybe we could use this dude. And then, make a deal happen. But for right now, you gotta get 3 or a third or a fourth team involved. Again, nobody wants Ryan Anderson's contract. And what else does Houston have to give away?
That's it.
There's that.
Yeah.
And because they traded like half their squad to the Clippers, so they got to sign like minimum contract guys to make this thing work.
Yeah, Clippers got a lot. I didn't think Chris Paul could demand that type of trade.
Yeah.
At this point of his career, I mean that was like
more than
Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, more than KG, and picks were involved as well. So I don't know. I mean, good for the Clippers. I don't know about Houston.
We'll see.
We shall see.
But for the record, though, I'm not pro bring Melo to Boston anymore. That was if they strike out on Gordon Hayward. I can't be more clear about that. But
no way, shape, or form do I want Carmelo Anthony this year. I don't think.
No. But if they struck out on Hayward, I was all for it.
I'll
admit it.
I
said that.
No, you said it like as a last resort. I believe they should have done something like that as well.
Well, someone on Twitter was like, "Oh no, even if they do sign Hayward, bring him too." I'm like, wait a minute.
That's I know who that was.
Yeah, you saw that, right? I was like,
Bump at the brakes.
I just let that one alone. They don't want to.
What else did we miss, Joel?
In case you missed it, according to a report by good old Woj, now of ESPN.
I hate it. He's lost his fastball, bro.
Did you guys see that video? When he's still trying to know his way around the office.
Yeah.
He almost walked on set in the middle of a live broadcast.
They're like, Woj, come on, bro. This is the fucking 5th time today, bro.
He opens the curtain and goes, whoop, sorry. Turns around.
Is it just me? Deer
in the headlights look.
Now that he's more on TV, he's like you said, he's lost his...
No, he sucks.
He stutters like a motherfucker.
Whoever this Sam's Charamarya guy just fucking stealing all his hot takes.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck is it? Woj used to be the only one.
He created the vertical, and now it's like, Chris Mannings and Shams.
They're getting everything.
They're doing everything right now. They're
and then
we still got your source, bro.
Woj just sitting there with Brian Windhurst like, well, can't believe all the Browns there. Fucking Windhurst, fat ass motherfucker. Windhurst probably bullying him and shit.
Bring me over a sandwich, Woj.
Their cubicles right next to each other.
Woj just every day fucking hates it. Like Windhurst like, stands up over the cube.
Hey, Adrian.
So what do you think about LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Any scoops for me today?
Right before Woj drops the Woj bomb, he just like, hey, check this out. Just hits the detonating button.
Everyone has that annoying coworker that they hate sitting next to. That is Brian Windhurst. That is, he smells bad and like you hear him fart and he's like,
Oh, oops, my bad.
it's like we all knew it was you, Brian. You didn't have to claim it out loud, okay? It's the 5th fart today. Did you see the spray bottle?
The Febreze.
Fat ass.
Sorry about that.
Hate that guy.
According to Woj, the Pacers apparently were looking to trade Paul George to the Warriors before the OKC swap went through. Indiana spoke to Golden State about Paul George for Klay Thompson
Clay?
trade.
That would have been nice.
But during George's introduction to the OKC press this week, the newly acquired Thunder joked about the report of a possible trade to the Warriors and that he believed the NBA would have nixed that. What do you guys think?
I think Klay Thompson's a better fit on the Warriors than Paul George.
Yeah, he is.
I know, but
You know what I mean?
I mean, I find it funny because he sees himself as like, oh, that's how good I am. Like the NBA would have nixed that. That's what makes it funny to me.
No, he's better than Klay Thompson. But I think,
No, but I just like his whole thing is like, oh, fucking, the NBA would have said nope because like the Warriors are already too good, and adding me, Paul George, ha ha ha.
It's like you're not that nice. Man.
It's like
no,
yeah,
he
that's
is.
what I thought.
He is that nice.
Yeah,
No,
but
but like you said, Klay Thompson's a better fit though for the
yeah,
Warriors than Paul George.
But
Like, where's Klay Thompson doesn't. His game never really changed when Kevin Durant came on the squad. He's still averaging the same amount of shot attempts, same amount of points. Where's Paul George going to fit? Really, honestly, if that were to go through.
And plus, we all know, come on, Klay Thompson is destined to be a Celtic.
Another topic for another day.
That's the final piece.
He just let both of us like, huh?
That's the final piece.
2, huh? That's
Little nugget to think about.
Yeah, 2019.
2019. Isn't everything happening in 2019?
Got something to look forward to.
I mean, Kevin Durant's going to be a free agent possibly in 2019, right? Okay. I digress. In case you missed it, is Jalen Rose heading to Milwaukee, fellas?
What did you just say?
Jalen Rose coming back?
Ah, shit. Derrick Rose.
He said, insert Jalen Rose drop right here. Yo, what you just say?
I fucking that's what I wrote too. That's the worst part. It's not like I read something else.
Milwaukee, huh?
I thought you were just having a stroke trying to say Derek.
That makes it better. So I was having a stroke. I just fucking fell over. He'd probably be dying like as I just fall over.
I'd be like, he just said Jalen.
All right. Jesus.
Jalen Rose, yeah.
Jalen Rose making a comeback, folks. He's going to the Milwaukee Bucks.
I don't care about Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose on the Bucks. I like that. I think that'd be great for them.
Where the fuck is it? Okay.
I mean, it's just Derrick Rose on the Bucks.
The former
why not?
but the former MVP will meet with the Bucks for the second time to talk about a possible 1-year deal. I think the Bucks should demand a fucking explanation for why he disappeared last year in that one game in New York, because I'm just dying to know. No one like is forcing it out of him, and I want to know.
He just called out, man. It's a big deal.
Yeah. He didn't call out. He literally didn't call anybody.
No call, no show.
No call, no show.
I should try that next week at work.
Let me tell you.
No call, no show.
No call, no shows are not very good.
And then just walk in like nothing happened.
Like, hey, what's going on, guys?
It's all about how you walk in the next day.
Where the fuck were you yesterday? What are you talking about? I was here.
Yeah, it's all about how you walk into work the next day.
What?
Where was I yesterday?
Dude.
I was fucking here. We had this conversation.
Dude, we were calling your phone. We're calling your family members. Like, where the fuck? And I was here. Like, what are you talking about?
And then right after you say that, just walk away.
No, like,
just avoid. Make every conversation no longer than like 15 seconds.
Like, I don't know where. I don't know where you were looking, but I was here.
Just be like,
walk away.
This guy, weird.
This fucking guy.
Yesterday.
Take a sip of your coffee and walk away.
No.
Just keep it moving.
You're like, even your boss is like,
You're just like, yeah, I'm gonna go get some coffee today. You want some? It's like,
can I get you some?
No. So
we're gonna pretend like nothing happened, or what are you talking about? What happened? In case you missed it, Jaylen Brown will participate in the second NBA Africa game next month in Johannesburg, South Africa. The format will be Team Africa, which consists of NBA African-born or second-generation players against Team World, obviously, NBA players from the rest of the world.
Including the United States?
Yes.
Nice.
So guess which team Jaylen will be on?
I don't know, man.
You should know.
Is he African?
He is not.
Okay.
So, Team World.
And Causeway Street will be in the building in Africa.
Woo!
Now, the reason why I bring that up is because on Twitter, I like tweeted that out, and they were like, how's he going to play on Team World? You know, it's supposed to be like, you know, the African team. I'm like, guy, the USA is located where? In the world, right? and they're playing against a team of Africans. So if he's not African, which team is he going to play for? They're like, but that doesn't make any sense. All right, that's it. That's all I can say about that.
Slippery slope.
Yeah, head to causewaystreetblog.com to
be in Johannesburg, son.
to peep both rosters. And no, we're not going to be in Johannesburg. That would have been dope, though. That would have been dope.
Just get on a plane to Africa, dude. We're here for one basketball game, then we're leaving right after.
I'm coming back in dashikis.
Might be fun, though.
That was funny.
In case you missed it, Conor McGregor and fucking Floyd Mayweather will finally have their boxing match next month. And they're on their little mini tour as they talk shit to each other. Till then, what are your thoughts on this money grabber pay-per-view that will charge $99 so you can actually view it?
I have zero thoughts on this whole. I think it's stupid. I'll watch it though.
Yeah, I'll watch it too. I'll go to a bar to watch it.
Yeah, I think it's just stupid. Like, anyone wants to try to like say, "Oh, McGregor's got a chance because of this." No one's got. It's gonna be dumb. It all depends on if it's fixed or not, which it probably is. And Mayweather's probably going to carry him for a couple rounds because that's part of the deal. So, because he knows he's actually in the ring with someone that could break him in two.
So no one actually loses.
If
right?
McGregor wants to, he could just snap him in two at any time.
But then he doesn't get paid.
Right?
Yeah.
So he probably has something in the contract that says Mayweather's going to carry me for 4 rounds. I'm going to get a couple shots in, and then Mayweather's going to. You can from round 4 on, maybe it'll be a fight. But it's fixed. This fucking thing is fixed, and people getting all amped up about it, like. Just go to the fucking movies instead. Like, it's stupid.
I second everything he just said. That's what I think about it.
And plus,
we hadn't really talked about it since like it was announced. So I was just curious what your guys' take was on it.
Isaiah's going to be there too. Front row.
Isaiah will be there.
Yeah. I mean, obviously,
I don't know how I feel about that relationship between those two.
Yeah, I mean, in one way I like it because I like that attitude and that fight. But at the same time, it's still weird to me. Like how they just became friends and how they're like best buddies and stuff.
Like Isaiah seems like a smart, intelligent dude, and
yeah,
Mayweather can't read.
Right.
You see the check he was holding up? Did you like they focused in on what he wrote? He wrote 100. HUNDIT.
No, he didn't say that.
Yeah, he did.
Did
he wrote 150 FIDDY.
Oh my god!
Like whatever.
Have you ever heard him? Have you ever heard him trying to read the drop on the Breakfast Club? It's painful, bro.
That's an ongoing joke for months now. Ever since that happened, Charlemagne will always say like, "What's wrong with you, man? Yesterday you were sounding like Mayweather when you were reading that thing." Like it's just an ongoing joke over and over.
It's mad funny.
This, in case you missed it, is brought to you by
CLNS.
Oh,
CLNS Media
that's a little snippet.
Network.
Just a snippet.
When you want the best.
Make sure you download the mobile app for the best in all sports coverage. You can also listen to the Causeway Street podcast on there as well. Make sure you follow us on all social media accounts: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Chatty.
You can talk, Snapchat. You can talk all the shit you want.
Snap it, chatty.
You know what I mean? You might get a response out of me. You might not.
Not gonna do.
It's all good. I'm not gonna do what everybody thinks I'm gonna do.
No, Joe's gonna respond to you every single time. He's just lying.
Most of the time, it depends.
Sometimes
I usually don't because on Instagram,
sometimes I hop on there.
Yeah,
just say something mean, he'll respond.
Yeah, usually on Instagram, I'm good. It's a Twitter, but Twitter's been pretty good lately. But with Instagram, this one person was just like he just wrote fake news. Take this shit down. I was like, who the fuck do you think you are telling me to take some shit down?
Jeez, Joel.
Easy. So, speaking of which,
thanks CLNS.
Speaking of CLNS, Bob Ryan is now under the CLNS umbrella. So if you download the app, you can listen to his show as well.
Make sure you visit CausewayStreetBlog.com for all your off-season moves. And there's also a piece up there about Doc Rivers reflecting on the 2008 championship season with the Celtics and the 2010 NBA Finals run.
Let it go, Doc.
I mean, it was brought up. When it's brought up, he can't just.
Won't you focus on your own problems right now?
No, but it was a good interview. Good interview by
Doc needs to just go
by
away.
Mark Spears. Mark Spears, brought up. He was talking about the Clippers, and then that happened to come up.
How many years do you think he's gonna go coaching?
With the Clippers or just in general?
He's gonna get fired.
I don't think he's gonna go somewhere else, but yeah, with the Clippers.
If the Clippers suck this year and they're not in the playoffs by halfway through the season, does Doc get fired?
Didn't he sign an extension? Was it last year or the year before? Because when he got traded, quote unquote, to the Clippers from the Celtics, it was
they picked up that contract.
They picked up that contract, and it was 3 years, and
Doc's
then
on the box.
and then he signed like an extension not too long ago for like another 3 or 4 more years. So
it's on the hot seat.
I don't know. Can you blame him that Chris Paul was like, I'm out?
No. And I 100% agree with him. Oh, not agree. I believe him about the whole him favoring his son and.
Well, Paul obviously fucking denies that. He just said it was time for a change.
Is this in case you missed it, or are we wrapping up the episode?
Anyway, sorry.
Let's talk about Doc.
I don't know, man. I'm starting to question Doc as like, how good of a coach is he? You know?
How did we even get into Doc?
Well, I said, see, this is what I'm talking about.
What happens when I don't listen, man?
I said, go to our website to view quotes about Doc Rivers talking about the 2008 championship team and the 2010 run to the NBA Finals.
I got you.
All right.
All right.
And that's it for.
In case you missed it.
That was a jam-packed episode. It's good, though.
Content is key.
Anything else you guys want to have?
No, that's about it.
No, I mean, really want to go on vacation. So, bye.
Until next time.
That's a rooster. Give me a whoop.
All right, later, guys.
Peace.